Hello, I'm James Monroe, the fifth President of the United States. You might know me best for the Monroe Doctrine, but my life was shaped by revolution, diplomacy, and a young nation finding its place in the world. From fighting alongside George Washington to expanding America's borders, let me tell you the story of how a Virginia farm boy helped define a nation's destiny. I was born in 1758 in Westmoreland County, Virginia, to a family of modest planters. My father, Spence Monroe, taught me the value of hard work and public service. When I was 16, I entered the College of William and Mary, but the stirrings of revolution soon called me away from my studies. In 1776, at just 18 years old, I left college to join the Continental Army. I believed deeply in the cause of American independence. I served as a lieutenant under General Washington and fought in several key battles, including the famous crossing of the Delaware River on Christmas night, 1776. At the Battle of Trenton, I was wounded when a musket ball struck my shoulder, but I considered it an honor to bleed for liberty. After the war, I studied law under Thomas Jefferson, who became not just my mentor, but a lifelong friend. Jefferson taught me that diplomacy and education were just as important as military might in building a great nation. My political career began in the Virginia Assembly, where I learned the art of legislation and compromise. I was elected to the Continental Congress, where I witnessed firsthand the challenges facing our new nation under the Articles of Confederation. When the Constitutional Convention met in 1787, I was serving in Congress and couldn't attend, but I supported the new Constitution despite having some reservations about federal power. I believed a strong union was essential for America's survival. I served as a United States Senator from Virginia, where I often found myself caught between the Federalist vision of Alexander Hamilton and the Democratic Republican ideals of my friend Jefferson. I generally sided with Jefferson, believing that too much centralized power could threaten individual liberty. President Washington appointed me as minister to France in 1794, during one of the most turbulent periods in French history. The French Revolution was raging, and maintaining American neutrality while preserving our friendship with France required careful diplomacy. Later, I served as minister to Britain under Jefferson's presidency, working to improve relations between our nations and resolve lingering issues from the Revolutionary War. These diplomatic experiences taught me that America's future lay not in European entanglements, but in charting our own course. As Jefferson's Secretary of State, I helped negotiate the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, doubling the size of our nation for just $15 million. This acquisition fulfilled my vision of America as a continental power, providing space for future generations to prosper. I became president in 1817, during what historians would later call the era of good feelings. The bitter partisan divisions of earlier years had softened, and Americans were optimistic about their nation's future. My presidency was marked by several key achievements. We acquired Florida from Spain through patient negotiation, further expanding our territory. I oversaw the Missouri Compromise of 1820, which temporarily resolved the growing tensions over slavery's expansion, though I worried this issue would continue to challenge our union. But my most lasting contribution was the Monroe Doctrine, announced in 1823. This policy declared that European powers should no longer colonize or interfere in the Americas, while promising that America would stay out of European affairs. It established the United States as the protector of the Western Hemisphere and marked our emergence as a world power. I left the presidency in 1825, having served my country in war and peace for nearly 50 years. I had seen our nation grow from 13 colonies clinging to the Atlantic coast to a continental power stretching to the Pacific. Though I faced financial difficulties in my later years, I never regretted my life of public service. I died on July 4, 1831, the third president to pass away on Independence Day, which I took as a sign that Providence smiled upon our great experiment in self-government. My hope is that I'm remembered not just as the author of the Monroe Doctrine, but as someone who helped America find its voice in the world, while staying true to the principles of liberty and self-determination that inspired our revolution. The America I helped build was one that could stand as an equal among nations, while remaining a beacon of freedom for all mankind. Thank you for joining me on this journey through my life. The America of today stands on the foundation that my generation helped build, and I'm proud to have played my part in that great work.